Hi, it's Sarah from Losing It For Me 42, and I just kind of wanted to touch on a few topics. Over the weekend, I kind of binge watched a lot of Dr. Matthew Weiner's YouTube videos. Now, if you don't know who he is, he's a bariatric surgeon who also wrote The Pound of Cure, which is a book, and it's a kind of very hot topic right now, kind of the opposite of a keto diet, which is just eat lots more fruits and vegetables and that protein doesn't always need to be number one. He also has a YouTube channel. So I binge watched a bunch of his videos, and a few of them really kind of brought up some interesting topics that I had not thought of before. So the number one and the most impactful was a video about how much can you expect to lose from bariatric surgery. And as I am a nice slow loser, I was very curious, like, am I not losing enough? Am I not doing, is it not working right? I guess is the best way to put it. And so I'm watching him, and it basically was that some people have a gene that predispositions them to fast losing after bariatric surgery. So when we all in the community, us slow losers, look at the fast losers and go, what am I doing wrong? Well, it actually isn't anything we're doing. It's genetics. They have a gene, which, by the way, he says he can't test for yet. Shake my fist at that. They have a gene that predispositions them to fast losing. So when they have surgery, they'll go whoosh and just lose a ton. And then there's the rest of us who, try really, really hard and we lose very slowly. However, the good news is that he says we all end up in the same place. Whether we're fast losers or slow losers, we'll all lose. And he brought up a topic that I've heard a lot, and I'm really, really curious if it's actually true. Which is that after bariatric surgery, no matter what you do, you will lose weight. And as I've had a couple of gains, I don't know if that's true. Like, it makes sense. Like, I was watching Short Sleeve Tea's video last night in which she talks about stalls, and basically stalls are not you not losing weight. Stalls are just the scale not reflecting that weight loss, whether it be, muscle gain or water weight or whatever. When you break your stall, it's when that stuff goes, whooshes away, and you'll drop dramatically because you've actually been this weight for a while. You just, the scale just wasn't reflecting it. So, I understand that, and that's, it's an interesting thing, but I just wonder, they say that you can eat milkshakes and you can, eat all the bad foods and carby foods and you'll still lose weight after surgery, and I really don't know if that's true. I mean, they basically say that you just can't get enough, but I could probably get 2,000 calories in. It would have to be bad calories. I mean, it would have to be, really bad things that I ate. And I could eat small amounts of really bad things, but I could do it. Not that I'm going to. Not that I'm encouraging anyone to. It's when people make these proclamations, and I really look at them and go, is it true? One thing, I read a BuzzFeed thing. I think it was BuzzFeed. No, it was I Love Fucking Science. I Love Fucking Science posted a thing about the healthiest things to ditch in 2017. as we're all trying to get really healthy. And one of the things they mention, and it's true, and it blows my mind, is there is absolutely no research whatsoever saying that flossing is good for you, that it makes any difference. And I was floored by this. Apparently the Associated Press put in a Freedom of Information Act for the United Health, I don't know, something from the government about health. They put out a thing of all these healthy recommendations, and they're backed by facts and data. And they realized that there was no facts or data available for no research for flossing. And so they put in a Freedom of Information request for that data and found out, finally, that there is no data, none whatsoever. And it floored me that we've studied pretty much everything, but not flossing. Granted, I think flossing is good for you. I think it benefits you greatly. However, I'm a facts kind of person, so that is so intriguing to me. So when people make these blanket statements that you can do, another one of these blanket statements was this notion that eat less, move more, you will lose weight. And doctors have even told me that that's not true. Or that's not always true. That, eating less calories isn't always the best thing to do. Sometimes you need to eat more calories. Sometimes you need to eat the right calories. Sometimes, moving more is great, but you need to move more in a specific way. One of the things that has recently come out is that aerobic exercise is not good for weight loss. Not aerobic, cardiovascular exercise. So when you're doing cardio, not great for weight loss. Cardio is great for your lungs and your heart and your overall health, which is why I do it. I don't do it for my weight loss. I do it for my heart and my lungs and my overall health. Dr. Matthew Weiner brought this up too, which was, he said studies have proved that cardio is good at maintaining weight loss, but not actually weight loss, not achieving weight loss. And I honestly think that's just because when you're doing cardio, you're just more active in general. But doctors have told me, and lots of research on weightlifting is actually the best way to lose weight. Because you don't convert, but you burn fat with and you build muscle. Muscle, when at rest, burns fat. So the more muscle you put on, the more your body is burning fat by you doing nothing. So actual weightlifting is much better for you. And people who get worried that, or especially women who get worried that they're going to bulk up from weightlifting, it's not going to happen. Yes, I know people who do bulk very easily, but you'll tone way before you'll bulk. So it's not going to be like you work out and then suddenly you're like a beast. I would love it if that happened, but you'll get tone and you can keep tone, and you just, it takes a lot to bulk. So don't worry about that. But putting on muscle is much better for you for weight loss. Hence, that's what I focus on. But for years, it was believed the opposite, where that cardio was the key to weight loss. That you just had to get moving, and that helps with your weight loss. And I'm like, it does to some extent. Burning a little bit more calories does help, but something Matthew Weiner brought up, or Dr. Matthew Weiner brought up, was that the extra calories at the gym should not be counted. You should not, because that's not really how your body functions. Like, that's not extra calories for you to eat. That's not like, oh, I've burned, I take in 1,000 calories and I burned 500, so actually I'm only really taking in 500. He's like, that's not how it works. He wasn't really clear on exactly how it works, or at least I didn't really understand exactly how it works, but he said, like, basically don't count those extra calories. Working out will make you hungrier, and you should feed that, you should take in as much as you need. But just be aware of what you actually need. And I think that's one of the big things with VSG or any weight loss surgery, is learning to listen to your body and take in these actual things. And not, focus on, well, I need to hit 1,200 calories because I worked out. It's like, no, you take in as many calories as you feel you need, and you stop when you're full, and, It's one thing I like about A Pound of Cure. I like the idea of, I haven't read the book fully. I have the book. I have read parts of it. And the idea really that I got from it, and I'm not saying it's the truth of the book, it's just the impression I got, was that calories are not the problem. As long as you're eating good foods, you can eat as many calories as you want. Calories are not the problem. It's the bad foods that's the problem. It's, carbs and grains and things like that. And though he allows some of that back in, he basically says meat and vegetables and, beans and nuts and berries and all the things, all those natural foods that, for one reason or another, diets over the years and doctors over the years have cut out of the diets. A great thing I read on the I Love Fucking Science thing was, one of the other healthy things was egg whites. They said that they did a huge study that basically said that eating a whole egg, or actually, unless you have high cholesterol genetically, eating cholesterol from food will not affect your cholesterol significantly. So, having a whole egg instead of the egg whites isn't going to really change your cholesterol. That cholesterol actually mainly comes from your genetics. However, if you have high cholesterol and you intake cholesterol, then it affects you, is basically what it was saying. I'd also be very curious to know if that one's true, because that's a very interesting fact. I personally have tried egg whites and thought they were the grossest thing in the world. I will eat a whole egg any day. It, to me, sounds like good, healthy fats. So that's what I'm doing. But these things that are always these notions, and something my boyfriend said the other day when I brought up a couple of the things that Dr. Matthew Weiner had said, was that medicine and healthcare is a practice. It's not a science. Hence, all of these, all of our surgeons have these different requirements, have these different plans, have all of this different stuff, because, oh, squirrel, you're dead. He didn't die. Is because it is a practice, not a science. That they can't always really get down to these things, and these things are always, their understanding of these things are always changing. So, all of this together is like where my brain is when I'm constantly thinking about these things. I have to remind myself that I have shitty genetics. I knew this. I knew that my family had a very hard time losing weight. And that it is a horrible struggle for us. And so, yeah, I should not beat myself myself up or second guess every time the scale doesn't move because of that. You know, I have to go, like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I am exercising. I'm focusing on, eating whole good foods and, doing that instead of going like, why isn't the scale moving faster? Why is she losing 30 pounds and I've lost 10? No. So, good thing to remember. And then the fact that, no one has all the answers. The best thing about this community is that we get all this information from all, people tell everyone else about their plan, their journey, what works for them. It doesn't work for everyone, but it gives you more information, more stuff to go off of to kind of, figure it out on your own because it's a practice, not a science. So, interesting facts, interesting things to think about that, these things are very fluid, and that when we're not doing the best, we have to remember that, keep our chins up and that we'll get there. It just is not going to be a fast, easy ride. And for those who are considering the surgery or, prepping for the surgery, like, be aware. Like, it is a huge mental challenge to constantly, push yourself to be the best you can be. And it's not going to be, it might not necessarily be whoosh, all the, weight is gone. It's a fight and a struggle, and, this is just a tool. I've lost, I was close to 30, and now I'm at 26. 26 pounds in 2 months, which is fabulous and great, and, I know when you're not losing anything at all, you look at that and go, like, why are you angry at that? And I'm not angry at it, I'm just disappointed when other people have lost, in the high 40s or even sometimes 50 by now, and I'm like, I'm at 26. And a lot of my journey is steps forward and then steps back and then steps forward and steps back, and that can be frustrating. And just be aware that that is, something that can happen to you. But when it does, when you hit your 3-week stall and you're like, I just had surgery, why am I stalling? It's all very natural. You will have times in which you lose, you'll have times in which you lose big, you'll have times in which you lose small, you'll have times in which you gain, you'll have times in which you stall. It's all natural. And just know that going in is that it's just a tool. It's not a magic wand. Though it kind of looks like one. But it's just a tool. And it's hard. I think a lot of times when we have the surgery, we think in our heads, like, even despite knowing facts and things, we think in our heads that this is somehow going to be a magic wand that's just going to go, melt the fat away. No. We have to eat right. We have to exercise. It just helps, keep our calories down because we're not hungry and at times. And we feel very full very easily. So it's just a tool. And our genetics may suck, but we'll get there. Okay. I have hoped you've liked my ramblingness of science. Bye.